Hey everyone, I'm sitting in front of Koa's tank again because we're gonna do some long overdue maintenance. We're finally gonna install a misting system, I'm gonna add a few more plants and a few other things, so I think you'll like it. Okay, I really hope I'm not gonna regret this next part, but I'm gonna put the camera inside the tank. Okay, this looks really cool. This is... Oh, I can make... Wait. I'm sorry, a little detour. Wow, so this is the angle Koa sees us at. That's really cool. Okay, back to the video. To give a little bit of insight of what I've already done, I put a camera inside the aquarium, facing outward. So you can see these two spray nozzles. I installed these about a month ago, but I haven't turned them on yet. It's a really simple system, and the great thing about it, when I sit in front of the tank, I barely see anything. You see the nozzle, but you don't see the splitter, you don't see the cable, you don't see the ugly parts. To be fair, I'm not really sure if I'm gonna keep these in here or move them around or just take them out completely because they're kind of in the way when I'm doing water changes. I keep the siphon in here and move around, and then my hand keeps running into the nozzles. It is slightly annoying. It's not that bad, but I'd rather not have them there. Back on the outside again, you can see how well I hid in the system. But I have a little confession to make. I haven't turned these nozzles on yet because I'm kind of afraid of breaking them. So here in the Netherlands we have really great quality water. You can fill an aquarium straight out of the tap, no conditioners needed whatsoever. The only real downside is that it is super duper hard. You can clog up the nozzles with the minerals, and Dutch water being super duper hard, they will clog up. And I'm not really sure how fast they will clog up, but I'm just a bit afraid of breaking them. It actually is kind of a stupid fear to have, because if they clog up, I can clean them anyway. So today we're gonna install them. I have the system over here in this cabinet. It's the Lucky Reptile Super Rain Nano, I think. It's not sponsored or anything, it's just the cheapest option I could find. There are a lot of wires attached to this system. This one up here will go to the nozzles, and then there's one down here which will go to the water source you're gonna use, and then there's another one that goes to the power outlet. And I have been dreading this for quite some time because I thought I need to put a bucket of water down here, put this in there, keep an eye on the water bucket that it doesn't run dry, and well, I don't really have space there. I don't want to have an open bucket of water down there, and I don't want to keep looking in this cabinet to see if the system is gonna break or not. But this morning I thought of a great idea. We already have water in here, so why don't we just place this in there, and then we're gonna turn on the system and see if the spray actually works. Yeah, seems to be working fine. Okay, I think I've hidden the wire pretty darn well. I'm gonna show you where it is. Alright, so here we have the pump. It just sits comfortably on this edge, so why not put it over there? Then we have the wire coming in. It's behind all that moss. Then it is back there behind more moss, and then all the way in the front it comes back out, and then it goes in the water. And you can't really see it that much. The only bit you can see is right over there, but I think we can cover it up with using some moss. Okay, so I've been tinkering with these nozzles for a few minutes now. I think I like how they're situated right now, but I'm not really sure if they spray on the glass because, oh, they are spraying. Look at this. I don't want the glass to get wet all the time because the water is so hard. It will fog up the glass really fast, so I need to make sure the spray system doesn't reach the glass. What's going on, man? I need to constantly keep drying the glass because I can't really tell when it's hitting the glass if it's already filled up with water. And something like this should work. Okay, we got it, man. That took a long time. Yes, it's done. The nozzles have been installed, and I'm really happy about it. This is gonna help out the tank a ton because all of the moss is finally getting watered every single day. And back when I made the scape, there's a shrimp walking on the... No way. The water level is down here. It climbed all the way up here. There it is. What is he doing? Why is he climbing out of there? Have you ever seen your shrimp do this? Damn, that was so cool. The next day it was time to add a few more plants. I added a few cuttings of Pilea already, right here, here and here. But we need to add even more plants. I wanted to add some kind of reed-esque plants. So I went to the pond section of a garden center and there I found these two plants. I got an Acora species which will fit this role perfectly. And I also got this Liliaopsis which might carpet once established. Both of these plants will play an important role in this tank, but I'll explain more about that later on. First, we gotta get them planted. To do so, I first wanted to remove as much soil as possible. I started off by removing as much as I could by hand and sprayed the remainder off with a garden hose. Once cleaned, they could be planted. Since I'm going to be planting these in simple placement, there's no nutrition in the soil, which means we'll need to add our own. I'll be adding some of these Nutri-Caps in between the roots while planting. I started out by planting a big section of the Acoras in the back of the design. Next, I added smaller bits of the same plant on either side of the tank. These will help soften the transition between the water and the land area. With those in place, I split up the Liliaopsis, added nutrition and placed these in various locations throughout the tank. It's very important to stand in front of the camera while doing this, as to make sure you're absolutely unable to see where I placed them. Alright, so we added the new plants in there and I think it looks really good. Only downside, the water became extremely cloudy and I'd like to add a few more plants, so I think it's a good idea if we would do a water change right now. And well, the water is all the way down. We can add a few more plants. Yeah, that should do the trick. So let's do it. Finally, I added some Bucephalanthera and some Bolbitis deformis mini. These were both glued directly to the hardscape using some super glue. To finalize everything, I also added some dwarf hairgrass throughout. And with all of that, the tank looks even better than before. I'm especially happy with all the different grass type plants in there, since the variety and the thickness and the color really helps to create a lot of texture in there. But that also begs the question, why did I add all of these new plants? Well, allow me to explain. These plants will help Koa reach out to water a little bit easier, but more importantly, they're for the fish. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I have guppies in the tank right besides Koa, and the time is here to add the guppies to the main tank. But before we can add the guppies, I really need to make sure this tank is stable. It's quite a lot of fish and it could throw the tank off balance, causing things like algae blooms. And that's why I like to have tons of plants in my aquariums, because all of these plants will compete with the algae, making it less likely to appear. Now this tank right here was already experiencing very little algae. Even more so if I don't fertilize this tank, a lot of the plants die off by a lack of nutrients. Which is a really great problem to have, because fertilizing a tank is super easy, but at the same time I don't think the tank will be in balance if I add all the fish right away. Therefore I wanted to add a little bit more plants, as to make sure that once I add all the fish, all of the added bio load wouldn't create an algae bloom. On top of filtration, these plants will also serve as a refuge for the fish, their babies and the shrimp that are already in the tank. However, to ensure optimal results, we can't add the fish just yet. It's better practice to let all of the plants establish in there before we go ahead and add all the fish. So in a couple of weeks I'll be dismantling this tank right here, adding the fish to the turtle tank, and we can use this space to build something new. So I was personally thinking about just scrapping this tank completely, building something new from scratch, utilizing the full depth, because it's double the depth of this tank. So we can build a new tank which could hold about 200 liters or 50 gallons, similar to the turtle tank. We can turn it into an aquarium, a terrarium, a paludarium. I'm open to suggestions, so let me know in the comments what you would put in a 50-gallon tank or 200-liter aquarium. But I'm gonna end the video there. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you wanna watch something else, I recommend you watch this video next to see how we initially built this tank. Thanks for watching. I see you guys next week.